Hey, this is BrindeWolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise Awakening, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken. Rise Awakening, now is the time.
Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
Little Christmas. Yeah. All right. Oh, time to get serious, I guess.
I suppose. Even on Christmas week? Ugh.
Well,
still reality, huh?
it's still reality.
All right. Well,
time for your Brindle dose of it. Let's go. All right. So I did something a little bit different for tonight. I actually did a spread this time. I used the Mystical Shaman Oracle to do what they dubbed as the medicine wheel reading. So we're going to hear from the south, west, north, and east tonight. So we're going to kick things off. In the south, where we find what needs to be let go of, what needs to be shed, no longer being defined by old wounds. So the Vision Quest. Funny that this card is in this position, as it asks you to take a look at your fears and where they may have come from. But it also questions why you spend so much time in that space. You already know what your flaws and misgivings are. You already know what your mistakes have been. But you've been so consumed with what the causes were that any solutions that are trying to make their way to you may have been missed. This isn't true for everyone hearing this. For some, this is simply confirmation to the work they've done over the course of over the year. Can't talk. Anyway, some have learned to quiet their mind, while others still need to learn to sit in the quiet so the answer they seek can come to light. Bear in mind that in any frustrating situation, the longer you look at something, the harder it is to see what's directly in front of you. Staring at a hidden object puzzle picture for too long can cause you to miss that last item on your list. Keep that in mind. The West is what we leave behind, the story that needs to stop being told. This is urging you to write a new story. There's an irony in this that the next card is going to talk about. As soon as you realize that you can rewrite the story, you recognize that you're in the middle world. This is the present moment. This is the now that you've been looking for. Once you make the decision to leave the past in the past, you make a distinction between what was and what is. The world can feel like it's holding you back when you are stuck in the past and how you used to be. Right now, for many, it's being recognized that the past is the reason for the holdup. It's finances or current situation that needs to be finalized. The part of you that has decided to move on is held firm in where you're currently at. The time may not be right for the departure from where you're at, but the time is prime for the mindset about it to change so it doesn't impact your dreams and visions for change. Stay aligned with your dreams and requests made to your higher powers. It's tricky for many to not fall back into old patterns. But if you've made the decision strongly enough, the heavens are listening and freedom can be reached, if it hasn't been already. Again, this may just be confirmation for you. Now, in the North, you learn what you need to learn from your own internal wisdom. What needs to mature, what is ready to be released, and what has yet to be realized. The last question is where many are at, and the sun may shed some light on that. Has your ego been in such survival mode that you've confused wisdom for knowledge? We learn many things through the course of our lives from external sources, but when we allow the internal wisdom that we've been gifted to shine through the knowledge, we can move forward so much more easily. Have you spent so much time being a light for others that you've forgotten about being a light for yourself? Have you stymied yourself because of the enamoring of others? following too closely in their footsteps while trying to maintain your own gait. It is pounded in our heads and hearts to walk a mile in someone else's moccasins, but have trouble not tripping over our own untied shoelaces. If the last year has taught us anything, it's to know when to crouch down and tie those laces so we can walk a little taller down the path. As you learn how to shine your own light to the world, make sure you aren't doing it from ego and becoming enamored by your own light. Keep your authenticity and shine it because you can. The survivalist ego needs to be turned into a thriving motivator. Now, in the East, it shows you how you could share where you've been with others, a possible outcome to look forward to. Not a promise, but a possibility. And water represents many things. But this time, it's pointing to evolution, a renewal of sorts from previous self to your new self. As you learn to release the charges that your old self has had on your body, mind, spirit, and thoughts, you'll be able to observe more and drown less. Meaning that when you have a flood of emotions, they won't take over as they did in the past, not cause as many disturbances and damage as they once did. When you exit the medicine wheel using the element of water, you'll have the potential of feeling cleansed, purified, and renewed. Many orthodoxies use water for rebirth. This isn't random or accidental, that it's a bit more universal than a common belief system. It's also no accident that this is also one of the most available sources of life on the planet. It is vital for every living thing to continue to flourish. Like emotions, the oceans ebb and flow without pause. Sometimes the waves crash hard. Sometimes they softly roll back across sandy beaches. We will all have moments where we feel like a hurricane just hit our lives. It can create damage that makes a huge mess to clean up. But living for that doesn't have to be a way of life. Living this example, once you discover it, can help others realize the same thing. As the end of the year of the snake begins to come to a close, we have the opportunity to take a brief look back at what we've been through and recognize just how amazing we all are. And use the wisdom we gain from that to rise like a phoenix in the year of the horse. In numerology, 9 becomes 1, which means we just shed all the crap so we can start over, start fresh.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank God.
So, yeah. Told you it was a lot.
Used the Tao Tarot today. Looks like this. All right, so up first we have, starting with 2 cards, we have Retreat and Grace. You're in a phase where stepping back and softening your approach is the correct move. Not quitting, not hiding, just easing pressure. Less allowing and more forcing has been happening. Grace restores flow. Up next, we have the Arousing. Life is shaking you awake. Unexpected events, realizations, or emotional jolts are meant to break stagnation. This is not chaos, it's activation. In the 4th and 5th spot, we have Progress and Duration. This is slow, steady forward movement. This is not a quick win phase, it's the long game. What you're building now lasts because you're moving patiently. Up next, we have Enthusiasm. Your joy is returning, but in a healthier, more grounded way. You're learning the difference between excitement and alignment. Up next, we have Deliverance. Release from something heavy, an old identity, a repeating pattern, or a belief that kept you stuck. Freedom comes from letting go, not pushing through. In the next position, we have the Attraction of Opposites. You're being drawn to contrast, new ideas, unfamiliar paths, or opposing energies. Growth is coming through integration. What is that? Integration, not avoidance. Up next, we have discipline. Self leadership becomes essential here, not rigidity, inner authority. Stay centered even when emotions or opportunities pull at you. And in the last place, we have influence. Your presence matters more than your actions right now. You're impacting others simply by being aligned. Quiet confidence is your power. You are now stepping back to regain clarity, being gently awakened by life, moving forward slowly but correctly, shedding old emotional weight, learning sustainable enthusiasm, integrating contrasts, strengthening inner discipline, and becoming quietly influential. Nothing is wrong, nothing is late, nothing needs forcing. This is a season of alignment over action, presence over pursuit, and wisdom over urgency. And that is my shorter than usual read for today.
Where to go with it tonight? I mean, gonna sound like a broken record this week with presence being a present. I don't know about anybody else, but it's been a rough year, holiday wise. And anyone experiencing loneliness, being distant from loved ones, feeling left out, you're not alone. Because so many others are feeling the same way. Or if you feel like you should be doing more, or you should be giving more, how's that working? How's that making you feel? I know how it's making me feel a lot of times. And having to overcome that and realize it's not about what you can bring or how much you bring. It's about being true, being you. You know, over the years, I've thought a lot about the Christmas season and how much we go into debt so many times. And we wind up paying for most of it for the rest of the following year, trying to catch up. Like it's a contest or something. Always baffled me why we do that. Well, we get caught up in the spirit of giving. Why do we reserve it all for one day? One day. When there's 364 other ones that you can randomly give of yourself. Do something for somebody else just because. And, you know, if you wanted to, grab the Christmas paper and wrap it in that outside of the holidays. And I know some will probably hear this and think, oh my God, he's just a sad sack. No, seriously, think about it. We go to so much trouble for one day when there's so many other opportunities. So if you can't, you'll make up for it, or you'll have the opportunity to eventually. And knowing that you being you in the best way possible to anyone you can be is gift enough.
I like that. All right, guys. One of the reasons my reading was so short tonight was because I wanted to build on it here in the talk knocking stuff around. So I'm gonna be reading tonight. I know I normally don't do that, but I wrote up some more information based on the cards that I pulled because this has been a big theme lately. So I'm going to read to you about the cards. You're heading into a life that requires less effort to maintain. You're being trained out of emotional overextension, urgency, proving yourself, and pushing timing. What's coming cannot be sustained by the old way you survived. You're learning how to move without strain in a role where your presence matters more than your performance. Influence is the endpoint for a reason. You're being prepared for a situation where people respond to your steadiness. Your calm shifts the room and your restraint builds trust. This could be leadership, mentoring, creative visibility, or being a grounding force in others' lives. You won't need to explain yourself anymore. You're seeing stable progress instead of emotional highs. What's next grows slowly and then stays. You're being rewarded or rewired to value consistency over excitement, reliability over intensity, and depth over drama. This is preparation for something long term, not on a high and low endless cycle. You're making a clean break from repeating patterns. Deliverance doesn't come during the storm, it comes after you stop feeding it. You're being prepared to recognize patterns instantly, disengage without guilt, and choose peace without justification. What once pulled you in won't have the same grip. You can have healthy engagement without contrast. In other words, differences will still show up, but this time contrast won't destabilize you. Desire won't override discernment, and curiosity won't cost you your center. You're learning integration, not avoidance. Your discipline now is internal. You're being prepared to hold boundaries effortlessly, say less and mean more, and trust your timing. This is quiet authority, the kind people feel, not fear. You're being positioned for alignment before expansion. What's coming next requires emotional maturity, rewards patience, responds to subtle power, and lasts because it's built correctly. This phase is not about waiting, it's about becoming unshakable before being visible. In one sentence, you are being prepared for a chapter where things work because you do. But we often question, how do we know when the timing is right and you're finally ready? First, there are 3 specific things you should not rush right now, as this phase asks you to slow these impulses. The first being decisions made to relieve discomfort. If the choice is about ending uncertainty, easing loneliness, or stopping mental noise, in other words, just needing something to happen, then it's not the time yet. Why? Because relief driven decisions recreate old patterns. The second is emotional explanations. You do not need to clarify your intentions repeatedly, defend your boundaries, or justify your peace, because over explaining drains your authority. And the third is new commitments that demand urgency. That means anything requiring your immediate availability, emotional labor upfront, or fast trust. This is all premature, because what's aligned will meet your pace without pressure. So, how do you know when the phase is ending? The end of this phase won't feel dramatic. It will feel quietly obvious. You need to look for these signs. 1, decision feels simple, not exciting, not anxiety producing, not you just clear. You won't need to debate them internally anymore. Your body relaxes around the next steps. No attention, no tension, no adrenaline, no knot in your chest. Your nervous system just says yes before your mind does. You stop watching for signs. The irony is that this phase ends when you no longer ask if it has. Presence replaces anticipation. The clear indicator that you're ready to move forward is you are invited, not compelled. What comes next will approach you naturally, not require chasing, not test your boundaries, and not demand urgency. It will feel mutual, steady, and respectful. You'll notice consistent follow through, clear communication, ease instead of intensity, no mixed signals, and no proving. If you remember one thing, let it be this: aligned expansion does not rush you, it recognizes you. This phase is ending because you're no longer trying to escape it. And that is all.
Okay. So Karen asked for a reading.
Karen, and yes, I have Karen.
Karen, then we're going to do Essie, and then when we come back, we will take care of Ketlo and anybody else who asks.
Okay.
But you got to ask, otherwise we're not going to just give. I knew you were going to. Okay, Karen. We're starting you off with the Two of Coins, and traditionally Two of Coins is talking about change and trying to weigh the options and figure out which option is better than the other one. But sometimes you question a little bit too much which option is right, and you do it so often when it comes to trying to make a decision that it kind of takes the Queen of Coins and flips her around to almost a poverty mindset. Oh, I shouldn't do this, I can't do that. And then you're just like, wait, why? Damn, I missed it. How did I miss it? And then you got the tower blazing, and you're just like, wait, what just happened? I was just trying to make a choice, and I can't make this choice because I got to make sure that all of these things. I know she's laughing on the other side of the screen. But here's the thing. I don't know if you saw that before I took it away from the camera. But here's the thing. Part of that is because of that damage that was done to the heart, that overthinking, questioning yourself. And once you decide to take that final stake out and trust yourself a little bit more, those decisions will just come like that, and you will just make them with no question, reverse that queen so that she's standing upright in her strength and out of the poverty mindset, whether it is actual financial poverty or otherwise.
Yes. Instead of being in that poverty mindset, do a little time to rethink things, look at them from a different perspective. But also be careful, because someone around you may be being a little bit deceptive, a little bit selfish, little kind of issues, and you need to make sure that you're using that intuition from your high priestess because of that situation. But like he was saying, it's time to do some introspection, do some self thought, look at things from a different perspective, and use your intuition.
And I can almost hear her say, because Karen and I are friends outside of Rise, and we do chat, and I can almost hear her say, but I've been doing that. I've been working on that. Okay, well, if that is your response and your internal response, and this is just a confirmation that you're working towards what it is you're hoping to.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yup. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Now, Miss Essie, you start where Karen's ended, but with a different deck, because the Three of Swords is an air sign, and in my other tarot deck that I use for this show, the Vision Quest, they use the elements instead of the suits. And this, you have the Three of Air, which is a Three of Swords. So any of these doubts that you might be carrying around with you that you just can't get rid of, you feel like they're just hovering over you, are they completely from you, or are they things that you carry because of past hurt and other people gaslighting you with their words and actions to believe things that you don't need to believe? And now you're stuck with gaslighting yourself because you have all of this doubt that's riding on the inside. Meanwhile, you have the Mother of Water, and this is Cups, telling you to tap back into that feminine, be gentle with yourself, feel more playful. And I know that you have that playfulness in you. The warning here is that don't use the playfulness as a mask to hold what it is that you know to be true, that you are, in fact. I see the eyes. She's like, what? Because one of the things that you have battled throughout most of your life is whether or not you're looking at reality or an illusion. And the moon is all about seeing through the illusion, because when, we're in a new moon phase right now, so everything outside, especially at night, is dark. And Ironic that the new moon fell the same weekend as winter solstice, when everything is about change and everything is about moving forward, new changes, breaking old habit forms, creating new ones, seeing through the illusion, and disillusioning the doubt. Tag.
Okay, so there's something that you currently that you're working towards, that you're feeling like is slightly delayed, like the success that you're expecting is delayed in the Six of Wands. He's reversed, but the Eight of Pentacles. It is the Eight of Pentacles, right? Eight of Pentacles shows that you are working hard and rebuilding. You're kind of in an apprentice stage, but the reason you're in that stage right now is because you're rebuilding. Something recently fell apart. You had a tower moment. There was some destruction. Something fell apart, but it came out reverse, which means you're in the process of rebuilding. So just keep up that hard work and you'll get there, because it might be delayed, but it's building.
Mm-hmm. Another part of the Eight of Coins is also getting things in order, making sure that you're checking off all the boxes of what needs to be done.
Sorry, we don't mean to scare you with our accuracy. Would we could pretend?
We hear that a lot.
This is too accurate. You're scary.
Apparently, Essie and Nikki have been having some conversations in the background that we just touched upon that we were.
It's funny to me when I see that stuff, because we have no idea what it is we're talking about. We just know what the cards say. We don't know what situation is at all. So it's just like we're just saying whatever the card says.
I mean, sometimes we get actual images to go along with the cards, but not every time.
Mm-mm.
Not every time. So, cat love. I hope you. I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. I may get a little choked up giving you this reading because of what it has to say to you. God, I can't even start without, because I know what it's about to say. Because I know that you have one of the biggest hearts. And Knight of Wands came up. This is one of the strongest cards in the tarot. It means that you have all your shit together. You know exactly what it is that you need to do. You know how to do it. Without question, everything that you've been through in your life has literally led up to this. All you got to do is live it and grab it. And those questions that you ask yourself on a daily basis. Am I a good enough father? You can stop thinking that. You don't have to carry that question anymore, because you are. In every way that you can be. And those doubts that you carry with you, and that's why it's reversed, you can put those away. You don't have to carry those doubts anymore. Because, and this is the hard part, good part, but hard part, those kids love you. Without question. No questions asked. And you don't have to doubt that. That's why it's reversed, because there are times that you doubt that. But you don't have to.
Well, more proof then, because the Hierophant says you're being that stable, true person that you need to be for them. And you are putting in the investment and the time and the harvesting of those young lives. And things are starting to reveal themselves. The truth of who you are is being revealed. And this is who you are. The Hierophant. Stable, moral, just father.
I think that's one of the sweetest readings I've been able to give in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
That felt good.
It did feel good.
Yeah. Jonathan's feels pretty good too. I hope yours.
It does. I mean, I do have a little bit of scolding for him, though. Just a little. Because Four of Air came up, and this is Four of Swords. Now, you have a tendency, welcome to the club, of overthinking. And you don't need to overthink everything. When you shine, you shine. When you don't need to overanalyze it. Like I said in the collective reading, you don't need to overanalyze everything. You know what the mistakes that you made were. Just correct them. You don't have to overthink. And one of the things that is going to help and has been, because I've been watching you for many years now, and just in the past couple months, the progress that you have made on the self-love and reconnecting with yourself has been astounding. It truly has been astounding, and you are discovering that self-love that you may not have recognized before. And you're integrating, you're writing your own story and what you want to release into the world. You're recognizing what you're capable of, what you're good at. And as you sit in front of the loom of your life, writing that story, this is what you get to decide.
All right, Jonathan. The sun, the happiness, the light is coming. And why? Why? Because of your generosity, your calm, and that thing we talked about you last week, your independence. You're starting to show everyone who you are. And what you are is that generous, calm, loving person. And because of that comes your happiness and your light. And we can all see it. So keep up the good work. Proud of you this week. Big time.
Yeah. Not that we aren't other times.
Well, I know, but we didn't have to scold you too much this week. You're
Not too
doing the
much.
work.
Just So, do you have? I have a final card, but I'm gonna let
I
you
do.
go first.
All right. My soul truth for the night is if I had a magic wand and could have anything I desired in life, what would I choose? Burn with desire. There is power in your desire. Let them be your fuel today. And your desires, let them be your fuel today.
Yeah.
Your desires are your soul's, I can barely see, soul's wings, and it's time to take flight. Today's soul action, today, go inward. Your answers lie within. What do you desire? Choose what makes you happy and do that.
Now, it happened again.
Oh
To
my.
no one's surprise, because I pulled from the Oracle of the Phoenix, and wealth and abundance came up. This card represents prosperity, abundance, and fulfillment. It is important that you now recognize where you stand with these issues and create a clear vision of where you wish to go. This magnificent phoenix teaches that there is always enough. It assures you that you will always be provided for. If you carry this information in your subconscious, wealth and abundance will automatically flow to you. You will create it through your beliefs, thoughts, decisions, and last but not least, actions. The time has come to burn away thoughts of deficiency and lack in the transforming fire of this phoenix. Emerge reborn. You may reawaken in the light of abundance and recognize that this light should penetrate every level if you truly wish to feel rich and blessed. It doesn't matter how much money you have or gain. If you don't feel it, it doesn't matter. And it will never be enough. So when you learn to feel abundant where you're at with what you have and who you are, then the rest is just a bonus.
No amount of money in the world is going to make you happy.
No.
Hey, this is BrindeWolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise awakening, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken. It's life. Rise awakening, now is the time.
Rise Awakenings. Let's rise together.